Hi, this video is part one of a two-part series that was filmed by Hugh of the Perth South Channel at the Great Electric Train Show in Milton Keynes in October 2019. Here I describe model railway exhibition layouts, their construction and operation. If this is your first visit to the Heritage and Model Rail channel, start now by becoming a subscriber and click the bell icon for notifications. This double-O gauge layout is called West Coast Cement, exhibited by Hornby magazine. This West Coast mainline scene is one of the latest layouts to be completed by the Hornby magazine team. Modelled in double-O gauge, it recreates a fictitious section of the West Coast mainline north of Preston in the 1995 to 2005 period. The track plan for the main lines consists of a simple double track circuit with a goods loop on the inner line. There is a cement works behind, which receives regular arrivals and departures. At the back is an 11-track storage yard which normally hosts around 20 trains for an exhibition weekend. The layout uses digital command control. Gauge-Master Prodigy handsets drive the trains, and Hornby's Railmaster computer control software takes care of all the point and signal operations via a twin screen monitor connected to a PC. The vast majority of the locomotives are equipped with digital sound, with only the overhead electrics not being equipped with sound decoders. Train formations are representative of the transition from BR to privatisation in the late 1990s, and as such viewers will see a wide range of colour schemes applied to the locomotives and rolling stock. These include late BR schemes, the first private operators, and famous names such as Virgin Trains, Network Rail and English, Welsh and Scottish. This double-O gauge layout is Fanny Stratford, exhibited by David Court. This end-to-end layout is an accurate representation of Fenny Stratford station on the nearby Bletchley-Bedford line in the 1950s, when it was twin-tracked to Bedford. The section modelled is from Stag Bridge, which carries the former A5 trunk road, to where the railway crosses the Grand Union Canal. A busy goods yard, serving Rowland's Timber Company and a small coal business, together with a livestock loading dock, are also featured. Stock is all ex-LMS and LNER, as prototypical for the period. Control is DCC using the NCE power cab system with Kindle Fire handheld units controlling locomotives and route setting via the JMRI wireless application. Slow action point motors with micro servos control turnouts, signals and level crossing gates using the JMRI Panel Pro software instead of a conventional panel. This double-O gauge layout is Bournemouth West, exhibited by the South Coast Model Railway Development Group. Bournemouth West models the southern terminus of the Somerset and Dorset Railway, which closed in 1965. The layout is built to double-O gauge and is based in the 1959-1962 period. As well as being the terminus for the trains travelling to Bournemouth over the Somerset and Dorset line from Bath, it was also the terminus for holiday and cross-country traffic from the North and Midlands. It was used as a terminus for London Waterloo trains using the LSWR route. Many of these trains were split at Bournemouth West, the other portion going to Weymouth. Other services operated from here to Salisbury, together with push-pull trains to Brockenhurst via Wimborne. All the above, plus others, are represented on the layout in a sequence lasting some 3.5 hours. Using photographs and drawings, we have attempted to portray the station as it was in this period. The layout is built to double-O fine-scale standards, using C&L track. All points are hand-built. Buildings are in the main scratch-built. We use a digital control system which allows us to set routes in and out of the station, operate using sound and gives us an automatic uncoupling function. Signals are all scratch built and fully operational with slow action and bounce. We are also operating some of our colleagues' locomotives, which are fitted with smoke fully synchronised with the wheel revolutions. This P4 layout is Shelvington and Rydes Hill, exhibited by Matt Farrell and Lee Polson. This 4mm scale P4 gauge terminus layout models BR's southern region in the late 1970s and early 1980s, when the BR blue and grey were the dominant rolling stock colours. Shelvington and Rydes Hill is set in West Surrey at the end of an electric line branching off the Portsmouth direct line from Worplesdon. There is a diesel-only branch back to Guildford, completing the third leg of the triangle, though this was reduced to a single track in the 1950s. The layout uses digital command control and includes a number of sound-fitted DEMUs. The rolling stock is typical of the area and the period and covers Class 205, 206, Tadpole and 207 thumper units, as well as a mixture of EMUs working on the electrified line. There are also Class 33s and 73s working push-pull and engineering trains together with rail tours and test workings. This 00 gauge layout is called Kirkby Steven West, exhibited by Ian MacDonald and Martin Wright. This layout depicts Kirkby Steven West on the Settle and Carlisle line in between 1955 and 1964, modelling the transition from steam to diesel. It is a continuous run design with storage loops at the rear and is operated from the centre with analogue control. The track on the scenic area is SMP with code 75 nickel silver railway. Points in the scenic area are by Markway. The rolling stock is a mixture of steam and diesel, all of which can have been seen on the Settle and Carlisle line. It is a mixture of kit and scratch built, together with modified and enhanced ready-to-run products. As the Settle and Carlisle was used extensively as a testing ground for new locomotives, particularly early diesels, we took the opportunity to run stock, which we would not usually have seen on the line as well. The scenic area is made from polystyrene blocks mounted within a plywood lattice covered with plaster. The finishing materials are Woodland Scenics and Green Scene Scenic products. All the principal buildings and structures are scratch built, except for the signal box, which is a converted ratio kit. The four signals are operated using Fulgur X slow action point motors. 3 controllers are connected to the layout to allow independent operation of the 2 main lines and the goods yard. The station, signal box and goods shed are illuminated, while the campfire has a fire simulation effect and uses a Sooth smoke generator. This O-gauge layout is Penpoll Quay, exhibited by John Sanders. Penpoll Quay is a 7mm O-gauge fine-scale layout set in the 1950s. Penpoll Quay is a small Cornish quay on the River Fowey and gets its name from Penpoll Creek, halfway between Lostwithiel and Fowey. The majority of the clay is loaded into small 5-plank end-door wagons and covered by tarpaulins to keep out the rain. The higher quality clay is bagged and loaded into vans, or standard opens and sheeted over. This 00 gauge layout is Dorehill St Stephen's, exhibited by the Soar Valley Model Railway Club. This fictitious layout is based in the South Yorkshire North Midland area between 1957 and 1962, allowing the Soar Valley Model Railway Club to run both steam and early diesels from the era. It features mainly BR Midlands locomotives, with visiting stock from the eastern and western regions. Dorehill has been built to 00 gauge standard and is analogue controlled, using 6 control panels and 12 operators. It is normally housed at the Soar Valley Model Railway Club's club room. The 4-sided design of Dorehill St Stephen's allows for 3 mainline stations a motive power depot, a large triangular junction, goods yard and a long mainline run for the trains. Train movements are to a schedule for passenger and fast freight. Goods yard and slow freight work independently. Stock is owned by club members and is a mixture of kit built and ready to run. Most locomotives have crew and lamps fitted and real coal in the tenders. All express passenger trains are close coupled for an improved appearance. Most of the stock has been weathered by one of our younger members. The operating signals are a mixture of semaphore and 2-aspect colour lights, which are all controlled from the individual operating panels. All track work is Pico 100. This double-O gauge layout is Tytton Hall Yard, exhibited by Boston Model Railway Society. The layout features a 4-track main line at a position where it reduces to a double track across a bridge. Under this bridge there is a coal concentration yard. Rakes of MGR coal hoppers are brought to the yard empty to be loaded by the working loading tower. This has been entirely 3D printed, including the operating mechanism. This is driven by a servo that is controlled from an Arduino microcontroller. Operators operate the mechanism using an electronic switch. The operator manually controls the timing of the operation. All track is Pico Code 100, ballasted with fine N-gauge ballast. Code 100 track was chosen to allow older ready-to-run stock to run if required. The layout is operated using the Lenz LH100 DCC system and is split into 3 power districts. Many locomotives are fitted with sound decoders depending on the members present. This O-gauge layout is Grindley Brook, exhibited by Hillingdon Railway Modellers. It is based on a fictional station set on the ex-London and North Western Railway LNWR line between Whitchurch and Chester in Shropshire. Although there was never a large station with a yard at Grindley Brook, the location was chosen as the point at which the railway crossed the Llangollen Canal. Only later did we discover that LMS had opened a halt at this junction in 1937. The scenic area has scratch-built buildings, signals and infrastructure. They have been brought together to create a typical NWR station of the early 1870s, updated by the LMS and ultimately passed into BR ownership. The trains are formed of LMR stock with a sprinkling of WR working. The track is built from C&L components to the finest standard of 31.5mm gauge, 0MF. The track layout was determined by the overall curve of the layout, which allows it to fit in place on one of the club's test tracks. Control is exercised by the signalman using a miniature lever frame with full mechanical interlocking, requiring the drivers to follow the signal indications. This N-gauge layout is Kings Park, exhibited by Andy Stepney. Kings Park is an N-gauge layout based in North London during the 1980s, close to Queen's Park Station. Here the 4-track West Coast Main Line runs parallel to the overground section of the Bakerloo line, which also shares track with the overground Watford service. A wide range of suitable rolling stock runs on Kings Park, including overhead electric classes 85, 86 and 87. Passenger services include motor rail parcels, express passenger and even Mark II Pullmans. Other traffic includes container and van trains, while shared underground lines see a combination of Class 501 and 313 3-car units, as well as 1959 stock from London Transport. The layout is nearly 30 feet long and 5 feet deep and features 28 sidings in the storage yard at the rear. With so many lines to keep running, Kings Park keeps 8 operators busy throughout the day. To view more exhibition layouts, click on the playlist. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon.